Whew. Today we're going to be doing a full face of amazing drugstore makeup. These are all things that I've been super into, loving recently. If you like drugstore makeup, if you like beauty, if you like makeup, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get some makeup on this tired face. For my base, I have been absolutely loving the Covergirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. It's a skincare makeup hybrid. It says it's comprised of 70% water, I think it was. So it has all of these spherical micro droplet pigments suspended in the watery skincare serum, and when you pump it out you will see it almost looks kind of separated, and then I just like to burst the little beads, so to speak, blend them onto the back of my hand, and then I just start rubbing that onto my face. And the thing that I like a lot about this is that it just feels very hydrating. Like, it literally feels like you're putting a serum or water or skincare onto your face, so it just feels like a drink of hydration, a drink of water for your skin. And because it is so thin and lightweight, it really just almost sinks into the skin and looks practically undetectable. Once I sort of spread it around, I will then go in with my foundation brush and just further blend it into the skin. I got like a cat hair. And this does give, I would say, light coverage. It's not going to give you a full coverage, but for those everyday, easy out the door, no makeup looks, it's so beautiful because, again, it's really undetectable. It feels super hydrating, but it does a really great job of evening out your skin tone, getting rid of that redness, and just looking ultra natural and realistic. So I really love it. And I'm in the shade 20 Light, by the way. Like, I don't know if you can tell, it just looks so natural on the skin, so beautiful. I'm obsessed with this. I was skeptical, but it looks really beautiful. All right, moving along to concealer. The Joah Perfect Complexion Eye Serum Concealer with ceramides and peptides is so underrated. I don't hear anybody talking about this. It has this little like twist up sponge applicator, and the reason why I love this is because it is really smoothing under the eyes. If you have more deep set under eyes like I do, or bags or puffiness, some concealers can conceal the darkness, but they don't necessarily smooth out that area. This one really does a good job of smoothing out this under eye area while also providing good medium coverage, I would say. And I also like that this one is, it's not fully matte, but it's not dewy either. It's sort of a natural satin finish. So if you have very dry skin like I do, you don't have to set it, which I really like in a concealer because I do have very dry skin. So if I can avoid a powder, I will. And also on an everyday basis, I tend to be a little bit more minimalistic or like lazy with my makeup. So I like cutting out certain steps. If I don't have to set, that just saves me a little bit of time. So I like that this is somewhat self-setting. If you have extremely oily skin, then you might still have to set it. It's not drying, gives good medium coverage, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I do feel like it does just subtly smooth out this under eye area, so it's so good. And I am in the shade Fair Light with Cool Undertones. For bronzer, I'm going to take the liquid contour from Milani in the shade 01 Honey. This also has a little sponge tip applicator. It does dry a little quickly, so I like to take some on the back of my hand. Also, it is pretty pigmented, and I'm super fair right now, so if I go in directly, it can be a bit intense. So I like to take some on the back of my hand, put my brush in there, and then I'll just lightly start working that into the skin. You can see it's still very pigmented. A little bit goes a very long way. And if you just use a little bit, it just gives you the most perfect sheer tint that adds dimension, but it doesn't look muddy or overpowering. And I like to take some across the center of my face just to sort of give me that sun-kissed look. Take a little bit more along the neck. And then I'll just go back in with my foundation brush to make sure there's no harsh lines or anything. If you're in the market for a new blush for springtime that is just going to brighten up, liven up your cheeks, you need to try this Camo Liquid Blush from e.l.f. in the shade Coral Cove. It looks neon almost and very intense in the tube, but I'm telling you, on the cheeks, it gives life. Also, P.S. sorry if I sound a little bit congested. I am getting over a cold. So this is very pigmented, so I would recommend doing one cheek at a time. I start off with one dot, and then I just start pressing it into the skin with my brush. And it does blend nicely, but again, it's very pigmented and it dries a little bit quick. So just work in sections and you can always add more. My mom used to say the rule with cooking, you know, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it away. And the same rule kind of applies for makeup. It's harder to take things away than it is to add. Just look how awakening it is. At least on my complexion, it's like a statement blush, but it also looks natural at the same time. It looks so youthful. It looks so springy and I don't know. It's just beautiful. I love this shade. I have other shades in this blush as well, and I really enjoy them, but this shade, it's where it's at. I'm going to take a little bit across the nose, whatever's left on the brush. And I'm just stamping. I'm not like swiping because that will disrupt your makeup underneath. But if you just stamp, you're good to go. Super pretty. And this is a very long wearing blush as well. So you don't have to worry about it fading throughout the day. And again, just going back in with my foundation brush. Super natural. For highlight, we're going to take it there. I'm going to go in with this You Glow Girl highlighter from J.Cat. This is one of my favorite intense highlighters in my collection. And I have the lightest shade, I think, in Seaside Frost. Whew! Oh yeah. If you don't like highlighter, you will not like this. But if you like to glow, you will be happy. It is so beautiful. And if you just use little circular motions like this, you're not going to look like you have a stripe on the skin. It just looks like you're glowing. Oh yeah. That is pretty. Such an underrated product. And look at the embossing in it. It's so pretty. I love these J.Cat highlighters. I feel like J.Cat in general is just a very underrated brand. I'm going to pop on a little bit more of my lip balm. This is the Pacifica Vegan Collagen Lip Balm. I've been really loving this. It's so hydrating and it gives you a little bit of a tint. The only thing is the hole is a little bit big, so you have to be careful because you can squeeze out a lot. But it gives you a nice glossy finish. A little tint, and it's very nourishing. Okay, so I wanted to play with my Colourpop Lost in Love palette. This is the newest drugstore palette in my collection, and I just think it's so cute. And it was a Valentine's Day release, but it's also perfect for spring with the pinks, the oranges, the reds. It's just delicious. I'm gonna keep it a little simple today just because I am probably going to the park with my kids. So I don't want like a full-on smoky wing, but we're still going to do something fun, and I think I want to do something a little glittery. So I think I'm going to start with this light baby pink shade called Dibs, and I'm just going to press that all over the lid. It's a light pink, but it does have a subtle, like, purpley undertone, which is pretty. With a little smudgy brush, I'm going to take some of that along the lower lash line as well. I'm going to intensify the look a little bit with this deeper hot pink called Just Us. Just taking that first brush I use. It's sort of a fluffy pinched brush. And I'm just going to start intensifying the outer corner a bit. And I'm going to drag it slightly into the crease. And I'm going to take that same shade and just press it super close to my lower lashes. Just on this outer corner here. And also just kind of wrap it around to the top. Just make sure I stamp it really close to the lashes on this outer sort of half of my lid because I want a lot of definition here to lift the eye. I am going to go in with a little bit of glitter, so I'm going to take my NYX glitter glue, just a tiny little bit on my finger, just to make sure I don't get any fallout, or at least prevent as much as I can. And then I'm going to take the shade Totally Smitten, which is this really pretty like micro glitter shade with pink, purple, silver reflex. It's really gorgeous. I'm just gonna press that onto the lid. Do you see the magic? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Okay, so I just tightlined a little bit with my Wet n Wild kohl eyeliner and did a little bit of a thin black liquid liner with my LA Girl Jet Set liquid liner. Applied some Loreal Voluminous Mascara, popped on a little Eyelure 3/4 lash, and now we're gonna do the lips. So I really wanted to use my LA Girl Perfect Precision lip liners. I have two shades, Cafe and Sugar and Spice. Cafe is a little bit more of a warm brown, and Sugar and Spice has a little bit more of like a pink, like a rosiness to it. So I think we're gonna go with Sugar and Spice today. And I really like these lip liners because they're wooden, but they're not super dry, but they're just dry enough to where you can get really precise, and they last really well. And also the colors, you can't beat them for a nude lip. They're not super dry, but they're not gonna smudge and smear around. They stay in place well. They're not the most long wearing, but they're pretty good. And I love the shades. And then I wanted to just do a little bit of a pop for spring. So I'm going to take one of my favorite drugstore lip formulas of all time, the Maybelline Lip Vinyls. You need to shake them before you use them. They're like a liquid lipstick, but they are not drying. They give you like a satin vinyl-y finish on the lips, not super glossy, but they just are comfortable and they last really well. And I really wanted to use this warm pink shade called Rogue. If you want the longevity of a liquid lipstick, but you don't want something super drying, you need to try these. And they have so many amazing shades. It does stay just the slightest bit tacky. It's not something that bothers me personally, and I love the way these wear throughout the day because they don't like crack and crust and crumble off like liquid lipsticks do, and they don't give you that butthole lip. They fade off really elegantly and beautifully. All right, while that dries, I'm gonna go in and set the brows. I'm gonna take my Milani, the clear brow gel. This is just a good everyday clear brow gel. It sets your brows in place, but it doesn't leave them super crunchy. It's not the most glue-like brow gel, but it just gives you a soft, flexible hold. And you could totally leave the lips like this. I think it looks so beautiful. But because my lips are very dry right now, I'm going to go back in with that Pacifica Vegan Collagen Complex Lip Balm, just a little bit. And I'll show you the color by itself. It's kind of a purpley pink color. It looks more purple on my hand, but on the lips, it doesn't look that lavender. It's more of a subtle like wash of color, and it just gives you a little bit of life. So yeah, guys, this is the finished look. This is my full face of all drugstore / affordable makeup. I honestly really love all of these products that I used. Better than high-end. They're just great. They're not just good for the price, they're just good in general. I love the finished look. I feel so like fresh and springy, and also I love the way it feels on my face. It feels so lightweight. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing a full face of makeup. So I just really love it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment letting me know what is your favorite drugstore affordable product right now. Definitely love to hear from you guys and love your recommendations. And yeah, I just hope you guys are doing so well. Love you so much, and I'll catch you in my next video.